Namaskar to all the viewers who are there with us on this Monday morning. A very good morning, good evening to the entire world. This is Himangi Arora Mishra right in front of you from the esteemed platform of TCOL. And today we are here with our precious guest whose name is Miss Yukti Kapoor Mendiratta. I have always heard that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. But I'm sure when the beauty is right in front of you, every eyes and everyone gets that understanding of the beauty. So we definitely have her. She has a lot of accolades on her name, from one of the top 10 entrepreneurs to Mrs. Gladrags 2018, if I'm not wrong. So this beauty with brains is right in front of us. I would like to welcome you from a very core of my heart, ma'am. Very good
Thank
morning. We would
Good
definitely love
morning.
to hear from you about you as well as your journey. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Himangi, and the platform for bringing out the opportunity for people like me to come and share our story. I don't know how inspiring it is, but my story has been inspiring me to keep taking one step forward in my life. So I come from a very humble background of a middle class Indian family. Being the first generation entrepreneur, there is a lot of unlearning and relearning that has happened already, and that just continues to happen. In fact, it is after tasting what unlearning means, could I really learn a lot more than I had planned. So, which in simple words is to say that you really have to drop a lot of what you think you know so that you're open to really knowing new things. And that has been my life story thus far. So just speaking crisply about the journey, it's been quite straightforward with the decent comforts around in the house. We are three daughters to our parents, and we have a very very close knitted family between the five of us. It's been a very straightforward journey with all the support you can expect and imagine from parents who've done everything they could to go beyond their means to give us the best of education and everything else in life. But it's when the comfort of schooling ends that the real life begins. And that's where you face your first challenge of now what? Because now your next decision is going to shape up your life. And so you have jitters, you're nervous, you don't know what do I do now after 12th? It's going to be my decision and I'll have to face the consequences. So I landed up picking maths and did maths honors because I thought I was decently good with the subject in school. And it's only after completing maths honors did I realize that I could have done better. So we could go on with this about many other decisions I took about my academics in life, which is to say that as much as when we look at the face of the question in front of us, saying that the wrong answer to this question would mean my life will come to an end is so wrong. And that is one thought we have to unlearn. So, if you were to just look at my life story very quickly, you will see some dots scattered around because there is one maths honors and then MBA in marketing, then being a banker with City and Barclays for over a decade, and then becoming an entrepreneur where I launched one company after that another. It might look like different dots in this space. To that, you add Gladrax Mrs. India, which is the glamour quotient that just fell on my lap in some form and format, and I grabbed the opportunity and made something of it. But long story short, it's only when you realize that the real meaning of life is to be with the flow of life that everything else that you do starts connecting and the dots will join with each other without you using your intellect to do so. As much as we think that I have to make something of my life, the message that I may want to give right at the start of this talk is enjoy the flow of your life and let life find its own meaning because that meaning will be far more meaningful than the meaning you plan to give to it. So, with the business that
So
I'm
it
doing
was
right
very interesting
now,
to know about your initial transitions. I would like to know a very interesting, we have all heard ABC. We have all heard ABCDE. I would like to know what ABY means and what it means to you.
okay, perhaps you mean SBY, right? So,
Okay, this is SBY,
SBY
as
is
well
Academy.
as one more thing that I would add here. that, as you said, you're connecting to all those dots. How important for you is to calculate and do all those calculative decisions, being the mathematics student? This is another question which I would definitely like you to address.
Okay. So, what I am encouraging you to look at is to drop the calculation completely, right? And when you do that, is when you allow the flow. So, the flow that I'm talking about is not about, waiting for something to happen to you. It's about doing the best that comes to you in that moment and going ahead with it with all your faith, but then accept that there might be a turning point somewhere which you did not imagine or plan in your life, and that might not be a dead end. It is just a turning point. And talking of which, I think there are three turning points in our life which we are least prepared for. Some of us have already faced those turning points, Himangi, and some of us are probably going to. But as much as I understand, these three turning points are pretty much unavoidable because we include these milestones in our life when we call ourselves or want to call ourselves as settled, quote unquote, right? Or maybe successful, quote unquote. So the first turning point is when you decide to marry someone. Now, in most of the cultures in the world, marriage is not something that you look at as something you may want to do as many times as you want in life, right? You sign up for the rest of your life with this person. And hence, some of us take a very, very long time to sign up for this, and that's perfectly fine. But once we do, we want this to work, isn't it? We want this to be this important part of my jigsaw of life, where this one piece will just multiply exponentially, add value and beauty and happiness to my life. And so we sign up for marriage. But let me ask you this: how many of us really go through a structured training program or a learning program to understand what marriage means? What does it mean to be a wife? What does it mean to be a husband? We don't do that. We fall in love with each other and then we just marry. And that's when we start our life in this beautiful relationship with expectations that are off the roof, because no one knows what the right set of expectations should be because we haven't really had that training or understanding about what marriage means. What does it mean to be a spouse? What does it mean to serve someone in this relationship forever without having you in the middle of it all the time? And we do that, Himangi, because we think everyone around is managed, right? My parents married, they're doing okay. I think I will manage as well. And so let's just get started. But imagine if you were to give yourself a chance to learn this a little better, to understand this beautiful relationship a little better. Won't you be better prepared? Won't you give yourself a chance to be a better spouse than you might land up being by default? So, if this is a turning point, it requires preparation. Just as how the second turning point in my mind, which is parenting, such a huge responsibility. But what do we do when we are biologically ready to be a parent? We become one, right? I can be a mother, so I become a mother. But we are not at all prepared to understand what it means to be a mother or a father. Bringing a new life and raising a new life is not a child's play, right? It requires a lot of understanding and preparation. We don't do that. And the last turning point that comes to my mind is when you take the responsibility of shaping people's career as a leader. Everyone wants to be a leader, right? It just makes us feel so good to say, you know what, I'm a leader. I have a team of 30. I have a team of 300. But have you prepared yourself to be a leader? Have you gone through any structured learning program? Do you know what are the skills you have and you require to be a better leader? And that is what got me excited to create this platform called SBY Academy, Silhouette by Yukti Academy. So our endeavor is to see if we can add value to people before they go through this turning point of leadership in their life. Can we hold them and prepare them so when they actually hit the road running, they're able to bring out a lot more of their potential than they will otherwise if they just were to stumble over it? So that's what SBY Academy does very passionately.
I would genuinely, understood the fact that a leader, a mathematician, said that you should not be calculating. And I'm sure a lot of students would resonate to it, that okay, if you're not able to do those calculations, which actually brings a lot of stress, let that be, and let it be. And of course, the resilience that you talked about means a lot in this very world of uncertainties. True on that. um you said SBY. I'm more mesmerized with the first word that has S in it. I would like to know the reason that you chose, because I'm sure a person like you would not keep the name of the brand just like that. So I just want to know what does that name means to you?
Thanks for that question, Himagi. Asking for the meaning of the brand from an entrepreneur is as exciting as if you were to talk to a mother about their
Yes,
child and the meaning of
right,
the name. You've named your son Aryan. What does Aryan mean? And you see the glow on the mother's face. So that's what you
correct.
probably see here. Because yes, it does take a lot of thought, and it has to have a lot of meaning for you to come up with a word. And for me, silhouette is not just an outline of an object. The reason why I wanted to call this platform a silhouette is because I believe that all of us are very confined within this outline we have about ourselves in our mind. That this is me, and this is all I am, and this is all I can do, and this is the only thing that I can do. Right? So the endeavor we want to pick as a platform is for you to not only see and appreciate and respect your silhouette, which is the outline of your body and existence as it is right now, but also lighten up from within so you can go beyond this silhouette. And when you go beyond this silhouette, it only happens when you're able to ignite that light within, which is the another aspect of this S of SBY Academy, and that is spirituality. So, whatever we do it with a blend of spirituality, because everything that you want to seek outside in the world has to first be believed in inside of you. So when you light that up within you, that light itself reaches out much faster and farther than you will with your conscious effort. So hence silhouette.
Beautiful, amazing. So another part that I would look forward to, as you said, a lot of youngsters and the people who are looking forward for certain responsibilities, they don't realize, they definitely like to call themselves leaders or would-be wives or wives, but we genuinely don't realize what are the responsibilities we are carrying ahead with it. So what do you think? How important and how relevant it is for a person to get enabled before taking up a responsibility?
It's like saying I feel like running a marathon because I think I can, and you wake up for it on 21st of January, the race day, and you wear expensive shoes and a very nice gear and a fancy t-shirt, and you just hit the track and expect that you will cross the finish line. In all probability, that's not going to happen, because everyone else running in front of you, with you, and behind you are people who've been on this track every single day for days and months and years before they could get themselves to do justice to the effort they will put to win on the race day. Right? So if you really want to make the most of your life, which is limited, irrespective of what you might consider this limit to be, we are not here forever, right? We are mortal beings, and we're going to disappear before we know. What is it that you want to make of your life? If there is some purpose behind that, if there is a meaning attached to your being here, as you understand, it requires preparation. Even if you were to cook a simple meal in the kitchen, you need to prepare for it, isn't it? I can't just wake up in the morning and say, yeah, I think I feel like having Thai curry. And then I realize that there is no ingredient available in the house for that. And then I realize, oh, but hang on, I haven't even made it ever before. So I don't even know what the right ingredients or proportions should be. But I want it to come right because that's what I thought I should do. It doesn't work like that, right? And the first and the second time you will make Thai curry, it will come out disastrous. And then you will keep trying and you will keep trying, and then it'll come to a point where that'll be the first thing you want to do if you're inviting guests over, because you're so good at it and you want to give people a great experience of your cooking, because now you are at that level of confidence. How did you get there? In fact, the confidence of even walking by maintaining the balance of your body comes at a cost. You keep falling many times as a child before you know how to keep that balance of your body and walk. And then you walk confidently, right? So if you were to think as an infant that I'm going to just get up one day and walk because every 3 year old can, it doesn't work like that. You will have to get up and fall and then get up again and fall again and get up again and fall again. And that journey cannot be cut short. Now, whether you call that as 10,000 hours of practice or, whatever number you may want to give to it, the fact of the matter is that there is no shortcut to living a purposeful life. A purposeful life requires preparation.
So I would put a closure to this very statement of yours by saying, by concluding it with the fact that every fuel has its own ignition temperature. So till the time that is not met or reached, the fire and the spark would not generate. So I totally agree to it that yes, every individual have their own journeys, and success would be definitely defined by the times a person fail. So being an entrepreneur, this is something which you would definitely relate to. Just in two words, how will you define, just two words, how will you define failure?
How would you define failure? Okay. Success
Or
awaited.
what comes in your mind when I say failure? Just two words.
Hmm. Actually, if you allow me another one, I would just say WIP, work in progress. Right? It's it's just
Beautiful.
always work in progress.
Amazing. And what are the words that come in your mind when you talk about success?
Success is as relative as say beauty. You started the session by talking about beauty, and you said so rightly, it is in the eyes of the beholder. If we want to see beauty in this world, we'll see beauty in everything. Every leaf,
Beautiful.
every plant, every breeze, everything you touch and see, no matter what color it is, what shape it is, right? Because you're not seeking perfection, you're seeking beauty. And beauty is an experience. You can experience beauty, you can't really touch beauty. Success is the same. You can experience success, you can't touch it and say and define that this is success. Because no matter what you consider success to be, there will be somebody with their own relative scale to come and challenge you that and say,
Very
this is
true.
not success. 100 cr company is success. No. 500 is success. No. 1000 is success. No. Cr doesn't matter. Passion is success. No. Purpose is success. Right? No, food on the table is success. I can be passionate about meeting new people and adding value to their life, and then I don't bring anything back home to serve my family. I have no food to serve. Is that success? I don't know. To me, it might look like success. To someone else, it might look like a big failure. So, what is success for me is what I would like to share. Right?
Okay.
For me, success is taking one step forward every single day in the direction
Amazing.
which drives me with purpose, right? So whatever I'm
Beautiful.
doing,
Beautiful,
that
Yukti. This is so insightful. I'm sure to lot many entrepreneurs and the youngsters, and you yourself definitely defines a lot of understanding and the world in itself. With that, we'll come to the the linear side of the graph, where I would just like to know, as you are the etiquette coach, and we always say that a person should be unbiased, transparent, how relevant it is for a person to have those finishing elements while speaking, while presenting. I mean to say, what is the importance of being those etiquettes? Is that mean that you should not present yourself the way you are or you're feeling comfortable with? Like, how do you define that?
it's a very deep question and quite a loaded question. Okay. And I think it's also a very, very important question. I'm glad you brought this up because there is a lot of misunderstanding about etiquette that we have, especially in our culture. I feel we associate etiquette with trying to do something that doesn't come naturally to you, or trying to be someone else, or working too hard, right? Like a wannabe. But etiquette is nothing but respect. Etiquette is mannerism. And good manners opens more doors than good education does. And that's a fact, right? So when you're carrying yourself with etiquette, you're carrying yourself with respect, not only for your own self, but for other people as well. And there are a lot of elements to etiquette that we might have to learn, because we all come from our own humble backgrounds, and everything that we're expected to do in a society might not really be, might not be done under our roof and the safe environment we live in the house. And that's all right. Doesn't mean it cannot be learned. And we're not learning this to be a wannabe. We're not learning this to impress people. We're learning this to show our respect for others and to show how much we respect our own self. So when I'm wearing a nice piece of clothing, or when I want to look groomed, or when I want to make sure that I show up to the world in the best way that I can with all that I have or don't, is my way to respect who I am. You with me? It's nothing to do with trying to look like somebody else. It's me in the best form and shape that I can be. And here I am. And I'm going to try to be my best, because that is my sign of self respect. And when I do that, I'm also open to understanding you and respecting you for who you are. So, etiquette is respect. Etiquette is not style. Etiquette is not a wannabe space. It's a space where you understand that when you open the door for somebody, you're showing your respect for that person. You're not trying to be chivalrous. You are just a courteous human being. And for that matter, even a woman should do the same. It's not only for the men, because courtesy is kindness, and kindness comes from the space of respect. And that's what etiquette means. So when you're showing up to the world, why wouldn't you show up in your best version? Why wouldn't you wash your face and let it shine the way it is supposed to shine? Why would you want to cover that up in the name of, this is who I am? You are more than who you think you are. If you were to just clean up and show up, because the way you show up is how the world will perceive you, and perception is more real than reality. Our reality is known to us in closed doors, and no one will ever knock at that door unless you make it easier for people to understand who you are. And the best way to do that is to open the doors, break the walls, and
Amazing,
be out there.
Yukti. This is beautiful. I would say a lot of students would resonate, because we are targeting 25,000 families, and students are going to be a very relevant part of TCOL Summit 6. I am sure this message of yours has a lot to do with their understanding, where they actually, on the name of style, maybe sometimes where they talk about transparency, they definitely get confused when we talk about mannerism, and then they come up and counter it with, we are the way we are. So I'm sure this message will, help them understand that what a person should be like. And I'm really thankful to you for giving us this insight. Last question, very last question to the, to the interview and the time that we are seeking from you. What is your understanding to the fact that technology, you know हम इसे दो धारी तलवार बोल सकते हैं. So, how important it is to take this ahead for the betterment of humanity. And that is what we are going to come up with TCOL Summit 6, technology for the betterment of society. So, I would like to hear from you. What is your understanding to this?
It's a question that cannot be dodged anymore. Technology is more of a reality of our life than it ever was. And just as how there is anything else available to us as a resource, whether natural or artificial resource, there are two ways to deal with it. You can always utilize the resource, and there are always ways to cause damage with that resource. So a natural resource could be, say, fire, right? You can use fire to cook food. You can use fire to burn buildings and destroy things. It can cause destruction. Depends upon how you want to use that resource. Technology is a resource available to us today. So we can really do justice to human intellectual capital, right? Which we possess in abundance. And when we put that to real use, we can let go of a lot of mundane things which we had to do earlier because we didn't have a resource such as technology. And today, when it is becoming more intelligent because of human intelligence being transferred into artificial intelligence, it just makes it easier for us to let go of the mundane and create more beauty and more magic with human intelligence, right? So it's about how you perceive technology as a tool, as a resource. So, irrespective of what business you are in, or you may want to get into, any field that you may want to get into, since you're talking about students, I think it has to have an element of technology. If it is finance, we are now in the space of fintech. It's not only finance anymore, right? If you're in the space of education, like I am, there is no education alone. There is edutech, right? There is health tech, there is agri-tech. So every single space, every single sector is blessed to have technology as a resource. So let us open ourselves up and welcome this resource so that we're able to do a lot more within this less time that we have in one life, and achieve a lot more and add a lot more value. So I think we really need to embrace technology and gear ourselves up to educate ourselves on the best use of it, irrespective of the space that you belong to.
Thank you so very much, Yukti. This is, I'm sure, a very insightful interview and a lot of learnings for the learners, the ones who are actually seeking to their best potential, as you marked in your quote. And yes, technology definitely is a tool. We just need to understand and enable ourselves how to utilize it. And for that reason, today, because of this technology, we are here meeting each other, knowing,
Right.
getting to know each other, and thanks to the platform of TCOL, that we are able to do so. We are looking forward to lot many interviews, lot many insightful learnings from the parents, mothers. I'm sure there are definitely lot many entrepreneurs as well as educators who are mothers themselves. We are looking forward to you. Please join us on this journey so that we can connect, cooperate, collaborate, and create the world that is harmonious and, yes, beautiful. With that note, I'm signing off, Himangi Arora Mishra, and thank you so much, Miss Yukti Kapoor Mehendirata, for being with us and giving your precious time to us. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you. My honor. Thank you.